still all symmetrical, but and note that I'm not using the perspective. If I turn on perspective, we're gonna have this deformation. But as this photo is very I think is far from the actor itself, because here we are able to see a lot of this distance besides the eyes. So it means that the image has not too much perspective, and this way I usually prefer to work without perspective. So we start to sculpt in a very in a truly way, I think. Maybe I can also use some clay build-up brush or clay brush with a very low intensity, and then you can go even the front view like so. You can go and add more volume over that region, and then that black on that shadows are starting to disappear and turn into gray. But one thing that is important is to make sure that we're gonna have like this region more in a light view, because it's gonna has more volume over there. This will be separated from this region here on the jaw, right? Adding a little bit of volume there, and yeah, the nose is not really on likeness. I think we can have a look on other angles. Let's first have a check on the side view and make some comparisons. Remember, the side view will be the most important for doing likeness, but it was really hard for me to find some side views of Anthony Hopkins. Maybe if I check some movie, but let's try to make a first attempt just with those general images there. I like to position it in the same angle. And then start comparing the shapes. Here I'm trying to look at this volume here for the chin. Note that we can separate this volume from this part here. Let me do another color. But in this image he is smiling, so you have to take care about all of this region. Of the nasolabial fold, because of course it will be different. Maybe his forehead and the overall silhouette for the face is different. And here I'm trying to see this distance there. I think also maybe the angle of the nose. Here you can see that I had the model, it was like that, and then I did a rotation just in the z-axis of the screen, and you can do this by pressing shift and clicking with right button of the mouse. You click and then you left the shifty button, and then it's gonna turns on the screen just on the z axis, and then you can position it closer to the view that you are looking on the reference. Here I'm using the clay brush to add that volume. But after, when we go back to the frontal view, maybe we're gonna have to adjust much more things. Yeah, let's have a look into that. Always you match in some view and then you return to the view, the main one that you are looking for. Here's too large. Let's make it smaller. Let's move in that part. And here with the clay brush, I will try to make this volume into the nose You can see that clearly that his nose is not so centered. It's more like this it's not symmetrical, and I think maybe we can start to break some symmetry, but maybe before, yeah, as he's an old guy, I think it will be easier to start to break up break the symmetry, sorry. And because we have more features to have a look when the character is an old guy than when he's a young one, because we have more little shapes on the surface when it's some guy. Wait, something that I'm quite realizing. His face is more turned like that, and I'm not really sure, but I think maybe if we have this painting for the lips, let's check. Maybe this distance, I think in mine is too big, maybe. And maybe that here, if the dim standard brush, I will break this volume here. You know, and this is not happening in mine. This would be the volume of this region, and in mine is like doing this curve, doing another curve, and doing another curve here. We have like this weird volume here that's not looking good. So I will use the dim standard brush, very low intensity, and a nice size. This way I push this region, and after I can smooth. Now with the clay brush I will try to correct the volume here, and very subtle I'll try to match the volume that I'm looking in the reference there. I think when we add clay, we brings more white, and when we remove clay, like using the out, we give it more black to the model. Like if I add more clay here, it gonna turns gray or white. It's gonna be lighter, brighter. But when it has less volume, if we remove like so, then it turns black. So you can think all the time like this, just as a painting. and then you can go traveling around the face, adding more or less volume and looking through the overall shading of the model. Here I'm removing some volume there, adding more over there. Yeah, before we break the symmetry, I think we can do two things. We could correct a little bit this shape here in the lacrimal, because we're gonna need to do both sides, and also we could define a little bit more the ears, right? Because the ears is, even they are not so symmetrical, because one is higher than the other, or we have some difference on the shape. Look how this place here, and you know, this distance. But it would be nice to have these features made before we break the symmetry. So let's have a look on the anatomy of the ears. But here I'm feeling that the ears are quite too much for the back. We can see this image, so this way we can have a look on this distance. The anatomical purpose is like to have this distance of the head, and then right in the middle behind, you know, we have this distance here. In the middle we're gonna have the position for the ears, and we can use that rule of the thirds to position it between the but this is not really a rule, because all the time I see that the models has the ears just a little bit to the bottom of those thirds, so it's better to use the reference and compare it, put in the same angle, and always taking care about the perspective distortion, right? But let's have a look in the theory, not the theory, but the anatomical structure of the ears, right? Let's have a look.